Let's begin with video C. First we don't have to necessarily shake these up, just start using them. That is wonderful. It's very immediate experience, unlike these many paint markers that you have to shake them up. You may have to pump the paint reservoir to get the flow going. So that is, at first I considered that a difficulty in the at first I considered that a difficulty with using them, but then I got to like shaking the ball, having it rattle, and if I was drawing at a musical show, which is something that I often do, I would enjoy rattling. Just shaking the marker. Here we have this. Can you hear that? There. It's just a little ball in these. Whereas compare it to the larger Posca style markers here. Yeah, this is about the same size. This one has a large paint stirring ball in there. So you can definitely shake that. But anyway, so here is the blue covering over unfortunately someone is running some kind of a leaf blower or something. See how rich and nice this color is? It actually looks more, the color looks more rich on the camera than it even does here in front of me. Maybe the angle of the light has something to do with that. These markers are great, and I enjoyed drawing at a musical show using them, and I showed my friends the things that I had painted, and they liked the result. So these are working out for me nicely. I will try and set up an affiliate link for Amazon or something like that. And if I have set it up, you will see it at the bottom of the video or in the comments or something. And of course, please click that if you like, because it gives us a small reward for helping you choose what kind of art supplies or musical gear or anything that you are buying. So it doesn't cost you anything, but they give us a small reward for helping people find the right thing for them. And that is valuable. It's like when I'm doing a YouTube unboxing video or demonstration or something, I think, what would I like to be learning about this thing that I'm considering buying? Or otherwise, what sort of information would I want on this subject? And then that is my guide as to what I am making. So, somebody said, how do you know what type of music you should make or other things? And I just brought up the old guideline. If you please yourself, you're not going to please everyone else that you meet, because some of them have very different point of view. But at least you will please yourself, and that is a success in itself. But then also, there are probably some people who have a similar point of view to you, and they will agree with your aesthetic choices, whatever those may be. And then again, maybe not. Maybe no one will understand what you're doing whatsoever. And you have the choice of giving into peer pressure and just making something more ordinary, or you can say, I'm going to keep going in this unusual direction that I wanted to go in, and we'll see if other people eventually catch up to me and understand it, or not. You can't say that you're infallible or anything like that. You may eventually decide doing that, going in that direction was a bit of a mistake, or getting lost in the world of possibilities there. But there's time and space for all kind of exploration, so that is good. There I'm going from a thin line to a thick line. Good performance on these markers. There's a thin line, and as you look at this red and blue, this particular red and blue doesn't totally do it, but certain red and certain blue has what is called color vibration that goes between them. It is not a scientific phenomenon of the colors on the paper, but it is a scientific phenomenon of your vision and your brain processing your visual input. So the colors will seem to stand out or almost vibrate in your view for some unknown reason. It's like, why does it do that? We don't know, but it is activating some part of the system there. Obviously, our eyes are designed to notice things like contrast and color. So here we have these rich, bright colors appearing out of a dark night, it would appear to be. It's a canvas board, a black canvas board, so it arrives painted black for you, and I like using black canvas board sometimes because it is a different way to start your picture than starting it going from light to dark. We've done that so much with the paper, doing doodles on the edge of your math or English homework, the way that we all did. Looking forward to art class. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Some people think that art is some sort of an easy A, or it's just a class to not take seriously, but I don't agree with that. I guess I could possibly be an art teacher at some point in the future. I have taught some art now and again, but obviously, if you rush through things and just do the most basic level, it would seem easy, but it also depends on how difficult the grading is. It's like it is more difficult to measure the quality of art than to measure if you got your spelling words correct, if you answered the questions on the essay correctly, or certainly numbers are the most easily checked school subject, because you know exactly what the answer is supposed to be. And art doesn't have such absolute answers as that. But you can kind of tell when somebody put time, effort, or something into the work rather than just rushing through it and doing whatever. Ironically, your best or most inspired pieces of art might emerge when you're not trying. Like this, it's just a demo for YouTube here, but I think I will enjoy finishing this piece maybe after I hit stop on the video, and maybe I'll come back to it later and really think it over more carefully what I'm doing. But of course I really enjoy this process, or else I wouldn't be doing it so often here. But it's exciting to be trying the new possibilities of, you could call this hardware, right? You could say this is creative hardware, or I guess it's materials, supplies. Do markers count as supplies or tools? And the correct answer is they're actually both in one. They are a tool because they are the brush tip, but they are also supplies because, oh yes, that is one thing to bring up, is that some Posca style markers are refillable. You could somehow open the paint marker body and then refill the paint with your chosen similar or different paint. And also you may be able to remove the nib, turn it around, and use the other side of it as a second front nib. And that is a great way to get extra art travel, as you might say, out of your paint markers. But I don't think that these will have any way to any way to refill the paint reservoir at all. And that sort of goes along with the idea of a mainstream marker company, right? They want to sell you more markers. But these are good, and one thing that I did notice, I turned around the thing so I can get more space to draw here within your view, is the brush tips on the stained Sharpies can be used as paint brushes to some extent, or ink brushes if you dip them in ink. You can seem to refill the reservoir there. Don't remember how well that works, but during difficult times a few years ago, I remember having limited brush pens to use, but I did have a bottle of ink, and so when the paint ran out, or the ink ran out in the brush marker, I just dipped it in ink and continued to use it. And because it was one of these high quality Japanese import brush pens, it continued to work for over a year. I really should have ordered another one, but I don't know. I was busy with other considerations at that time. Still, I do wish they were refillable, because eventually we have to not use up the planet's reserves of materials and such. And we do go through our supplies quite fast. Humankind, we do. So let's not overdo it in terms of consuming plastic or whatever. The world is a thing in balance. In fact, to call it a thing doesn't really cover it, does it? The things of the biosphere, the beings of the biosphere, can be considered part of the world. Then you get into the Gaia hypothesis, which is another story for another time. Very enjoyable doing this and talking with you about philosophical matters. I don't have a particular subject when I'm doing this, just enjoying the shapes. it is somewhat refreshing to enjoy illustrating basically nothing. Or not nothing, but just something that is unspecific. For a while, to not worry about meaning and just go with it. Go with what you want to do. This has been VJ Franz K, finishing up my unboxing and review of the Sharpie creative markers. And this second set is the bullet tip version of those markers. After I previously had tried the brush tip, and I really like the brush tip, but these are both so good. I will want to regularly get a set of both. Have another one ready to ship by the time the paint reservoir runs out. That is one of the challenges of paint markers, is that if you're covering over large areas, you may use up your paint quickly. I like to, if I am able to, if I'm covering large areas, I like to use brush paint in a tube or in a jar or something, instead of using up my fairly expensive paint markers for that purpose. But as they say, your mileage may vary. Many nice things can be illustrated. Thank you for watching. I am VJ Franz K. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And please like this video and give your comments and questions below. Consider becoming a supporter here on YouTube or on Patreon. Help me continue to do these nice reviews and demonstrations and such. If I get more money from the advertisements, I will be able to buy more stuff and review it. So we are all part of a interesting and complicated ecosystem of media content creation and understanding. But this is a wonderful experience that we're enjoying in the 21st century, which is media creation that anyone can easily do and anyone can easily promote and publicize. We did have public access TV in 20th century where regular people could go into a TV studio and record their programs, but it may have been difficult to find and watch those programs, and they would be limited to a local area. So they did not have the worldwide possibilities that videos on YouTube and other streaming services now have easily. That's amazing, and it's also a little, I don't know, it could be scary, or just, it could be considered heavy. It's a burden to do something interesting or worthwhile. Or are you answering the questions that people will have about the subject that you're covering? That is an important question. You don't have to answer, you're not required to, but for the sake of information and understanding, you might as well think about it.